Good morning, everyone. My name is Tom McGinn. I'm the local territory manager for SoilMax, covering the western half of the country. I'd like to thank you all for coming today.
But some questions you might be asking could be that you've got wet fields affecting the performance of your crop. Certainly the field that we're going to be walking into here in a little bit, the crop got planted. The crop is growing, but you can see obviously the crop could be doing a little better. So they've got some wet ground affecting their performance there, and they want to do something different, and they're going to get some tile put in there today. Maybe you already know all that stuff about your ground, and you're trying to get somebody to tile it for you, and nobody's got time to get it tiled for you. Maybe you're the farm that likes to own your own equipment, or you just want to do it on your own time schedule. And that's one of the things that sets SoilMax apart as a company, of making the tile equipment that you can use. You can install tile with equipment you already own with your tractor.
So what Kelby's doing right now is he's recording a survey. So on that tile plow up on the top, he's got a GPS antenna that's running RTK GPS. And as he's driving, that GPS antenna is a certain distance from the ground, and the monitor knows that. So what it's doing right now as he's driving is measuring what the surface of the soil looks like all along this run. So once he gets back here, what he'll do is when he gets to the end, he'll hit stop. It'll stop recording elevation, and then he'll back the plow over the hole. And one of the features of our plow is to lower the plow, the wheels go forward. And what that does for you, like in this case, it's not that big of a deal. But if it was really sandy or really muddy, he can keep those wheels out in front of this hole. Less chance of the hole caving in on him when he's trying to set the plow down in it. Well, we have an auto level feature built into it that as he lowers it, it's going to retract those cylinders so that as the plow comes down, when it's down towards the bottom of the hole, it'll be relatively flat. So what they're doing now is they're loading the pipe into the boot. You'll see when he takes off, the power feeder wheel will start spinning. And what that power feeder wheel's doing is it's eliminating the stretch of the pipe. So it's helping pick the pipe up and push it into the boot, so that way you don't stretch it as you install it. And so what Kelby did is as he took off, he pressed start install, and that's all he's got to do. The tractor looks like it's probably driving itself, the plow's driving itself, and at this point, they're just along for the ride. You'll see the ground in front of them heaving up, but if you watch right when that boot goes in, you'll see the shape of the trench it's cutting, and you'll see all that other dirt collapsing right back down around the pipe. That's one of the advantages of a plow over, say, a trencher or a wheel machine, is it's doing everything all in one. It's kind of like a combine. It's not just digging your trench, it's not just laying your pipe in, it's not just covering your pipe up, it's doing everything for you the whole time it goes. He's going to hit stop install, and he's going to tell it to pitch up, and the plow's going to pitch all the way up and come out of the ground. He'll bring the wheels back to pick it up, move over to the next one, and survey back to the next hole.
To use our tap tees, you're going to use a 4-inch hole saw. You could also use a 4 1/8 if it seems a little bit tight, but you just put the arbor bit in one of the corrugations, and you can go backwards. For some newer hole saws, it's easier to go backwards, or you can so then you slide it in and you twist it You slide the pipe 4 inch right back in, and you have all the support that you need, both sidewalls, underneath, and we'll blind this real nice, and the fitting's done, the connection's done, and you don't have to worry about any soil infiltration or any failures at this junction. I could easily be taking a tape measure and measuring the distance between the bells on the tee, but I'm just more comfortable lining it up, taking your hole saw, or your sawzall, sorry, and finding where that first bell is going to be. Cutting that out, lining it back up to get my second cut, which would be here. And after you do this for several times, several holes, you could always count corrugations. But like I said, sometimes it's just easier to line the normal tee up with it and cut approximately. Then we'll do like the other connections. We'll just peel the one side back. It's a nice tight fitting or fit. You can see it's kind of on an angle, so the water's going to be falling into the ag main at this point. We're going to make sure that the 4 inch cannot go all the way into the into the normal main here. So we're going to estimate, you know, going. So this particular tee is a 6x5x4 tee. So we're going to go back to where it's going to be closer to into this 5 and 6 inch range versus all the way into the back of the tee. We just cut it to the length we want. Slide it securely into the fitting. As you can see, the tee has a lot of structure to it. The ag main, we didn't disturb the virgin conditions that we have here.
Some people like to hook it up before he takes off. I like to wait, because if that pipe does pull a little farther into the soil, then you might not have enough to make the connection. He's going to plug it into the main, and then we'll put nice loose soil all around the pipe. We'll kind of walk it down to make sure it's nice and firm around the pipe, and then we'll also cover the pipe by hand before we just start pushing the pile in. Because if you just push the pile in, more than likely it's going to get a big clod that falls on it and crushes it. Or I've even seen where they push the pile in, just the force of the dirt flowing pushes it to the side. Like I said, these connections are the most critical part of the whole job, because even if this is on perfect grade and everything all the way up, if you screw this up, all that pipe from that point on screwed up.
Hi, I'm Brian Horseman, engineer at SoilMax, lead our engineering department. The machine we got here is the Shaper Pro, one of our latest products on the SoilMax lineup. This product we came up with a couple years ago with feedback from some of the farmers saying like, oh, what do we do when we're done with it? Some people like to drive over it. Some people are taking dozers and pushing the dirt back to the center. There's no true like one-pass solution. So what the Shaper is going to do is it's going to chop up that dirt with the blades spinning in the front. They're angled to bring that dirt to the center, so it's going to start that process. And then you got the doors on the back that you can hydraulically adjust. That way you can get the hump you need depending on how deep the soil type, so it's going to change as you're changing, because even a single run you're going to change going from 2 feet to 6 feet, different soils in that one run. So the true one-pass product.
So drain tile should be a one-time expense. Any tile that's properly handled and installed should last somewhere between 50 and 100 years. By properly handled and installed, we mean making sure that it's not sitting out all summer in the grass where it gets mice in it. You're not stretching it when you're installing it. You're making sure you're bedding it properly, kind of like our plow does, where it digs the right trench, covers it back up, beds it, all that stuff. It makes your ground more profitable. and it not only helps you, but it helps your kids, and even probably your kids' kids.